Good morning, sports fans. This is George with Custom Tied Flies and Guide Service. And this morning, boys and girls, we are going to be tying the balanced olive Stillwater Leech. So when it's done, it'll look like this. The ingredients are you're going to need a 90-degree jig hook. Get that mounted in there. And you're going to need some thread. I'm using Olive Danville Flymaster 140D. I'm going to build me a little thread base here. This Leech hook, or this 90-degree bend, is Fulling Mill 6050. Now you're going to need the part that balances. So you're going to have, this is a black tungsten 3.8 millimeter bead, and there's a lot of different things that you can use for the post that it sits on. I'm using a hook shank from an old hook, but you can use a straight pin. You can use shanks for making game changers. I mean, you can use about anything you want. In order to make sure that it's balanced, I'm going to take it out of the vise. I'm going to turn it upside down. I'm going to put my bodkin through the eye of the jig, and you want it to lean forward just a hair. Excuse me, because it's a balanced jig, so you're going to be putting stuff on the back side of the counterbalance weight. So you want to make sure that it's a little front heavy, not too terribly front heavy, so that you can offset the weight of the Marabou and the Mohair. Once I get that in place, I paint it with head cement. Make sure that that shank stays in place. I set it off to the side to dry. My Great Dane just woke up. It's probably thundering out. So for the Marabou tail, you're going to want some fluffy Marabou. So you're going to want Marabou that's really fluffy at the one end, just like you would for a woolly booger, because essentially this is how this is going together. And you want this to be about a shank length, so measure it against the shank. I want to build a little bit of bulk into this body, so I'm going to fluff up the thickness with a piece of patent wool yarn. Give that a twist. And take that all the way out to right behind the bead. And we check the stability of the bead. Get some wraps in there. Yep, there we go. Run my thread all the way down. Run it back up to the front. That's not going anywhere. Okay, now I'm using olive mohair. I get this from Hairline. It's mohair yarn, you know, like mohair sweaters. And then you're going to stroke the mohair back as you wrap it on. And it's okay if some of the stuff gets caught underneath, because you're going to brush it out when you get done. And of course, you can tie these in whatever color you want, whatever color the mohair comes in. There's also a method for using a dubbing loop and Arizona semi-seal. It actually gives you a little better, oh, it gives you a lot more glint. But, I mean, all the leeches I've ever seen in my life don't have a lot of glint to them. Of course, you can do this in olive, black, brown. I've seen them in red. I've seen them in purple. all the way to the front up behind the bead. And get your thread down in there pretty good. Trim that off. I'm going to use some UV resin. I'm going to do a wet whip. Hit it with my light. Now, brushing out. This is an ergonomic dubbing brush, but it's essentially it's a bore barrel brush for a 9mm. You can get them at Walmart. Bore barrel brush. You stroke those back, and anything that sticks out behind the Marabou tail, you want to just trim that off. All right, well, there you have it. Balanced leech. Now, what's cool about this, like I said about putting the weight a little far forward. Oh, I didn't put it far enough forward. Anyway, there we go. So that's the balanced olive Stillwater leech. This is George with Custom Tied Flies and Guide Service. Excuse me. You can find my virtual fly shop on Facebook by searching Custom Tire 02. That's CUSTOMTYER 02. You'll be able to find this information also on my website, custom-tied.com. That's CUSTOM-TIED.com. Have a splash. Don't forget the dash. Of course, like and subscribe, and we'll be happy to have you. Trying to do a tutorial on majority of these bass flies I've been tying here lately, so trying to help you guys out. Happy tying.